Hi everyone, this is Menz here, playing the Tier 5 Premium German, although it's a Hungarian tank, Turan 3 Prototipus. Now, this tank, you don't see a lot of it. It's been on sale for a few days. It's not a bad tank though. It's very similar to the other German 5 standard medium tank, the PZ 4H. However, it doesn't have that top derp gun. And there's also currently the PZ4 Hydro on sale for the anniversary, and it's comparable to that too. Pretty much they're all pretty damn similar. This tank, of course, definitely has a different turret on it, since even though it's under a German tank, it's not technically a German tank. But just going into it, you'll basically see statistically the three tanks are very similar. However, the Turan here has actually quite a few strengths over the standard PZ4H and a lot over the Hydro. Now, it's still not the easiest tank to play since it is a Tier 5 medium, and honestly, Tier 5 mediums, like this match, pretty good setup here as far as matchmaking, but who knows what's actually gonna... Oh god. Thanks. Okay. Like, thanks a lot, dude. Like, that's why you don't drive right behind other people. But, it is difficult to play against higher tiers, of course, because you don't really have that much armor, and Tier 5 mediums don't have that much HP either. Just compared to Tier 6s and 7s, when even some Tier 5s, like the OI, can really put a damper on you in just one shot. I'm actually not even going to bother to go up there. It doesn't look like there's that many people up there, to be honest. I don't really have a nice shot on this guy, but I'll still take a crack at him here. Now, your ammunition count is a little low, but I haven't noticed any issues with running low on ammo. You might just notice it if you're having some game trying to come back and you fired a crap ton of shots beforehand. I'm definitely losing out a little bit of damage. Oops. A little bit of damage in this match because I'm just kind of pushing out when I probably should have stayed back. But in any event, we're doing pretty damn well up here. Oh god, I'm gonna try to get out of this T-67's kill box here. Now, one thing this tank does not have is very good V range. Pretty much none of the PZ4s have it. The standard PZ4H has the best with 350, but at 330 for the Turan here, it's not the strongest suit of the tank. I was trying to help out here with this T-67. Thing doesn't have a lot of HP, but unfortunately it has very good gun on it, and yeah, I'm gonna try to push across here just to close the gap. Our south is getting annihilated, but I'm gonna do my best to let's get down here. Hopefully we can do something before their heavier tanks turn around. That's really our only hope here. But after the battle here, I'll go more into the specific stats of this compared to its closest two peers. Alright, I don't need an APCR shot for this T-67, but I had it loaded nonetheless. Alright guys, please stop dying. That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, I'm basically driving right into this, but luckily I kind of did a little jiggle there and I got him to miss. Now I'm unsure if they're gonna... Ooh, that grilly almost got me there. If they're gonna come back to cap or if they're gonna go to our cap. I honestly think, yep, they're gonna head over to our cap, which is a very big problem for us. Honestly, I'm not too confident that even if I booked it right now, I'd be able to get back. But nonetheless, I'm gonna have to try. Ooh, there's a Grilly. He's gonna die here. I'm gonna try this. PZ4 Hydro is our best bet to get back to the cap, so I'm just gonna take a different route here, see if I can take out a few enemies on the way. Definitely not looking good for us. This tank's not slow, but climbing hills, it's a little slow for medium, but I was definitely... I should have just booked it right to cap. That was my only chance to stop them. But, yeah, a little too late to do anything at this point, unfortunately. I might get one shot off on this guy if I'm lucky. Yeah, but there's... I couldn't see him at that point. So pretty frustrating loss to say the least, but at least I did decent in this match. Mastery Badge 3rd class. This was actually the first loss I've had in this thing. I won 3 straight before this. 822 damage, nothing spectacular, but it's one of the things I find with a tank medium. It's not a bad tank in any way statistically compared to other tier 5 mediums. Aside, it doesn't have a derp gun that some of them have, but 75mm that's on it is definitely serviceable, unless you're against some select tier 6 and tier 7s. Then it has a little bit of problem even with APCR to punch through them. However, it's not a bad tank. It's just I find really you're kind of capped by being a tier 5 medium because you don't have a ton of armor, a ton of HP. Your firepower is good, but nothing spectacular. That you're really, unless you're against a lot of 4s and 3s, you're kind of capped that you have very good matches, but no like spectacular matches. But it's not a bad thing though. But just going over its stats, as you see, 570 hit points. That's actually the most. The PZ4H, the standard German tank, has 480 upgraded, unless I'm mistaken for some reason. And the Hydro has 550 HP. Moving on to like the hull armor, only 50mm in the front, which is tied lowest with the Hydro, because the standard PZ4H has a 80mm thick plate in the front. Turret wise, it does have the best turret front at 75mm thick, while the Hydro and the PZ4H only have 50mm. However, the top little cupola here is actually the weakest. I believe that's 60mm thick, whereas the other PZ4s get 95mm up there. Since even though the Turan 3 is not a PZ4, it's pretty freaking close to it, aside from its name. Speed-wise, it's capped at 40 kilometers an hour, whereas PZ4 Hydro is at 48, but that's nothing to write home about, considering the power-to-weight ratio on the PZ4 Hydro is only 12.5 compared to 13 on this tank, and then the PZ4H bumps up to 17.5, which it's significantly more mobile than both tanks. Damage-wise, using 75mm on all of them, since the PZ4H does get a larger gun, just going off the 75mm stats, same damage at 110 per shot. Penetration, the Turan 3 actually has 113mm for its standard, better than the 110 for the other two tanks, and its gold round has an extra 2mm of penetration at 160 over the 158mm on both of them. Rate of fire wise, 15 rounds per minute, not bad, same as the PZ4H, higher than the Hydro that's at 13.95. Accuracy 0.39 for all of them. Aiming time 2.2 seconds, whereas the PZ4H and Hydro have 2.3, so a little win there. Gun depression negative 10, very good. The slightly taller roof and how it's a little bit less armored is a slight negative for this tank, but negative 10 degrees is good, and it does have an extra 5 degrees of gun elevation at 25 compared to 20 on the other ones. Kind of mentioned it in the match as well. 330 meters for view range, a little low, which is why I have optics on it. The regular PZ4H is 350, Hydro 330, and its engine is the weakest out of all of them at 260 horsepower, whereas the PZ4H 440 horsepower and Hydro 300. However, it is slightly it weighs a little bit less than the Hydro, which is the best power to weight ratio. Now it's going to hop in another battle here, so it happens. Definitely against tier 6s and 7s, which is where the statistically, it's just being that it's a tier 5 medium, just the way World of Tanks is balanced, it struggles a little bit just because of that. It's not a bad tank in any way, though. Now, one thing that is different for, or not different for the Turan 3 and the PZ4H is its matchmaker weight balance. Basically, each tank has basically points assigned to them. Usually each tier and class have a specific point, whereas tier 5 mediums count as 12 points for matchmaker. And basically your team, their totals are added up, and there's like a plus or minus like 15% or something that's allowed by matchmaker. Standard, or usually in most battles. However, PZ4 Hydro, okay dude, has a 14.4 matchmaker weight assigned to it, so it's actually higher, which is, it's good for this tank and also the regular PZ4. But I just wanted to bring that up since I know the Hydro is being sold right now for a ridiculous price. It's definitely not worth that price at all. You're better off buying the, I think it's packaged with like a Razer mouse or something that you can get the Hydro when you buy a mouse from that company. However, just going over this tank's good, and also thank you to Ferry Groot. I almost forgot, he gifted me this tank. He watches a lot of my live streams that I do at least twice a week, and again, thank you. I am always glad to see you on my stream since I know you live across the pond over in Europe. Alright. Hellcat, you got lucky twice there, but this is definitely I'm gonna have to back up here in a second. Definitely, ooh, maybe not. I was about to say that KV1, never mind. Now your penetration, it's good, but you definitely aren't able to exactly overpower and penetrate basically everything you would want to. Even using APCR, it's not always a given. But like I've said numerous times, it's not exactly a knock against this tank, but just a knock against tier 5 mediums in general. It's just a trait that unfortunately they have, and there's not too much you can do about it, which is why, even though it is slightly annoying, I don't play too many tier 5 mediums anymore. It's just something where it's nothing against this tank, just the way things are balanced. I'd very much like to have them spot somebody else. Okay. Alright, KB3. Oops. Don't want to get hit by him. Try to do my little... Never mind. He doesn't have a very accurate gun on him. It'd be nice if I could set him on fire. I'm going to take one more crack at him here. I should reload before him. But unfortunately... God damn it. So I'd say I ran out of APCR, which... Like I said, oh, that guy drowned. Thank God. It's not a knock against the tank, but it does have a slightly low ammunition count, which it comes into, like I said, when you're having really good battles or very long battles, but especially when you're against a lot of 7s where you have to use quite a bit of premium rounds to really be very effective. You can't carry enough of them unless you're gonna load a crap ton of APCR every single match, which will be very expensive. But it's like, I don't know if he's pointing at me, or, but I have pretty much no chance to penetrate him unless he stays. Alright, pretty sure that was his rear. I'm like, I thought he was pointing his front at me there for a second. But it is something where you're not going to run out of ammo a ton in this, but you will be cutting it close quite a bit. Crap, and it doesn't help that your accuracy, it isn't bad, but it's definitely not the best in the world. And I got taken out. I should have went on the other side of that little building. But in any event, if you're looking for kind of inexpensive mid-tier premium and you like German tanks, even though this is a Hungarian tank, but unless I'm completely wrong there, I'm pretty sure it is. But it is a decent crew trainer. It has quite a few crew slots on it where it will fit not every German medium crew in it, but all your standard higher tier ones will fit in it pretty well, I believe. I kind of have the problem where I don't have a lot of German mediums outside a few different premiums, so I don't exactly have the best crew in the world for this, but nonetheless, it's a pretty fun tank. You do have to understand your limitations, where since you are not poorly armored, but you're the worst armored out of the 3 tanks that I've kind of been going over here. And since your height is a little bit taller than them, and you don't have those spaced armor skirts on the side turret and also the side hull, you are a bit squishier. But thankfully you have a little bit more HP, and really the tank's great. It doesn't earn a ton of credits, doesn't do a lot since it is a tier 5 premium, but nonetheless it's a pretty solid all-around tank. You won't be disappointed buying it, just based off of balance wise for a tier 5. Just really, if you're thinking of buying the Hydro, honestly I would much rather put my money towards this tank than the Hydro, since yes, it's rare and all, but really it's not worth spending what, like 8 or 9 times the amount of money over the Turan here. So that's just my opinion, but we might have a different one. But nonetheless, hopefully enjoyed these couple battles here. Alright, let's see if they can finish this here. I don't know how our PZ4 or Jagged Panzer PZ4 crashed, but nonetheless he did. Alright, let's see if this guy, there we go, he finally found the GW Panther. But like this match, I definitely bounced quite a bit, and I used a ton of APCR. Don't know how many credits I'll make, but most matches, they're pretty solid matches, as long as if you play smart. And all in all, it's a pretty solid performer. It's just really, it kind of has a limit to what it can do because it is a tier 5 medium. But in any event, not a terrible match. Doubled my HP and damage, not too shabby. Still eked out a little profit considering I shot a lot of APCR. But nonetheless, pretty good match, and I was kind of surprised going into this tank. I wanted to get it, and thanks again to Ferry Groot for buying it for me, all the way from Holland, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I wanted to buy it, and fortunately he gifted it to me. And going into it, I wasn't expecting a ton, but I've actually grown to really like this tank. I've played several matches in it so far, and is definitely it's one of the, not to say best premium tanks I own, but at least for a tier 5 premium, it doesn't have too many negatives like a lot of premiums have, and that's really one of its best strong suits. But in any event, thanks for watching this video. Feel free to check out my website, watkuru.com, for World of Tanks, and also menzgaming.com/World of Warships for World of Warships. Otherwise, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe here on YouTube. You can also support me here on YouTube through fan funding in the upper right hand corner. Uses the Google Merchant Wallet. And also, otherwise, you can use PayPal in the video description below. There's a link to that as well. Thanks for watching.